And we are back live from Los Caballeros Sports Village in Fountain Valley, California for the four-time defending champions. In the semifinals, Vincent Munoz, Marco Chavez versus Brian Carroll and Michael Gregan. My name is Dave Vincent. This is the men's semifinals of the pro doubles. And Vince Munoz serving first. In the booth with me, six-time national champion in four-wall, Fred Lewis. Fred, this is the opening rally right here. No screen call right there from the referee.
Marco's playing a little close there, huh?
See how close to the front wall Marcos is, and he's playing the left side.
Serve 0.
Watch what Marcos does after the serve. He switches over to the left.
Interesting.
Never seen it before, have you, Fred?
Point.
This is just a system that Marcos and Vince has. It's a modified I formation. They play four-wall like they would play three-wall.
Point.
That looks like Vince hasn't lost a beat.
3-0. Point.
Coming around the glass, looks like it's bothering everybody back there.
4-0. Side out.
Well, Marcos left that a little short. You know, this should be very interesting to see how they rally in the front court. You know, the Irish team, they're going to want to hang back there and shoot from deep court, three-quarters court, because that's their strength.
A little close.
This is Brian Carroll serving.
0-4.
I like that serve.
Oops.
1 down.
0 serves 4.
0-4. Side out.
Well, 2 hand errors in a row. Doesn't help the cause.
4-0. Point.
A little too tough to handle down the wall.
5-0.
Vince Munoz and Marco Chavez have won 4 of these, trying to make it 5 here.
Point.
Back when this was called the Naughty Alvarado Classic, Vince Munoz won a few of those as well.
6-0. One down.
This game so far going by pretty quick,
6-0.
Fred. 6 serve 0.
Point.
That's 3 hand errors so far out of the 7 points.
7-0. Hold it.
Oh, Marcos tried to dink one in there.
7-0. No. 1 serve. Hold it. It's on the line. He appeals.
Instant replay.
Side out.
You can't always tell, but we can go ahead and take a look at that instant replay to see if we have a short ball or not. Yep.
0-7.
Hit right on the line. Watch this, Fred, how the ball stops right. Yeah, it might be over. You can't
Hard to
really
tell from this angle.
Certainly looks like it's hitting the line, but you know, if you're right on that line looking down, it could have cleared. It's a terrible second serve from Marcos, though.
Point. One, 7.
Brian Carroll's from County Meath, and Michael Gregan from Wicklow.
1-7.
Lives in Coolboy, Ireland.
Hold it.
Referee having to call a lot of game stoppage here.
1-7.
1-serve-7.
Side out.
Yeah, the Irish team, they've got to do a better job with their serves. Every single serve's been coming around the back
7-1.
wall and setting up.
Point.
Tough serve on a pinch.
8-1.
Big setup.
One down.
This is our first doubles match.
8-1.
Actually, our second one, and it's difficult for the camera crew, Fred, to try to pick up on every single shot because there's always somebody standing in the way.
Well, I think they're doing a remarkable job. You know, we just got a phone call from China
Point.
from a friend of mine who's watching over there in Nanjing, and he just said that
9-1.
the quality of the webcast is just phenomenal.
The score here is 9-1. It's nice to get viewers from China watching the live broadcast,
slide.
Fred. And Dave Chapman's mom, Chris Chapman, stepping in to the booth here really
9-1.
briefly to give us a hug. Her son didn't hug me today.
Well, I'm glad. I was just going to say, I'm glad it's
Side out.
Chris instead of Dave.
I never turned down a hug from a Chapman.
1-9.
See, another serve coming around the back.
She handed me a brochure on a new movie coming out called Forks Over Knives.
One down.
It's a richly inspiring, a must-see movie. It's a
That make
film
okay.
that can
Play it
save
over.
your life. Forks Over Knives at
They might have made it. I'm not
forksovernKnives.com.
100% sure.
We'll have to check
Let's
that
play it.
out.
Let's do it over.
I'm
not
checking it out right
100%
now.
sure.
Okay, forks.knives.
It's actually forksovernKnives.com. If you say it too fast, you might get
Oh, yeah.
yourself kicked out of this booth.
We
Well,
didn't call,
at
we
this
have to do
stage of
that
the
over.
game.
I didn't call the score. 1 serves 9.
Brian Carroll serving.
Better serve.
Point.
That's a skip in right there from Marco Chavez.
2-9. Short. Second serve. 1 down.
See, he got a little careless with that serve, left it up, and Marcos
2-9.
was able to fly kill it.
Side out.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to play with Marcos in the front. He's just too
9-2.
crafty.
Short.
Yeah, I think you're right about
Second
that.
serve.
Marco Chavez, even though he's not the bigger name on that team, Chavez Munoz
Replay.
is really the MVP of this team. He's the anchor. And Vince Munoz kind of lays in the weeds until he needs to step it up. And all of a sudden, you'll start seeing Vince score multiple points.
9-2.
We see this every single year.
That's a good serve.
What do you call that deep serve that hits that sidewall deep?
Well, it's a pinch. In other words, what he's trying to do is have the ball come around the back
Point.
wall where it's difficult to see. It's spinning away from the player, and there's not really that much you can do with it
10-2.
except play a defensive return.
Big setup there for Michael Gregan, goes down low. Marco Chavez is just standing up there. They have a system, Fred, that's unbelievable. Marco Chavez playing the left side is up
11-2.
past the dotted line, the approach line, and he just waits for that guy that takes it off the back wall to hit it in front of him.
Well, exactly. You know, it reminds me of David Chapman, what David tries to do in the front court. You know, he basically dares you to hit the ball in front of him. And if, you know, if you're not smart enough to hit an angle and get the ball by him, it becomes a setup because they're just so adept at putting the ball down like that in the front court.
See, Marcos goes in for these volleyball type fakes.
1 down.
Gets the other team to
11,
bite in on it, and then
2.
Vince is standing back there to take it off the back wall. It's like Jungle Ball, but LA version. And both of these guys are excellent off the back wall. Look at that kill shot opportunity from Vince Munoz. There it is. Got back from Vince.
Side out.
It's almost like it's 2 guys playing singles in there. One guy's playing up front, one guy's playing back.
You know, it's a very interesting strategy.
2-11.
And so far, it's working.
See how Marcos lets that go back. And Marcos touched that ball and said, nope, I touched the tip of my finger. 3 serves 11 here, first game. Brian Carroll and Michael Gregan versus Vince Munoz and Marco Chavez.
3-11.
Nice shot right there, Michael Gregan, the rabbit.
It looks like the Irish team is starting to get a little bit more
4-11.
comfortable in there.
Hold it. Splayed over.
Now watch when Brian Carroll serves this ball and how he does not take his left hand and throw it out of the way to give him.
4-11.
Watch his left hand here, how he keeps it in. He does that during the rally too, and I'm surprised that he can generate as much power as he has. This is a broken ball, by the way.
What happened to the other ball I gave you? You guys have it?
Well, watching Brian play reminds me so much of Pat Kirby. You know, same style.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, it was meant to be.
That's a replay. 4-11. Point.
Score here is 4 serves 11.
5-11.
5-11 now with Brian Carroll serving. Now they're trying to pick on Vince Munoz.
1 down.
Yeah, I mean they gotta do better than that. You know, he shot the ball right in front of Marcos.
5-11.
You're gonna shoot it in front of him, at least bounce it at his feet.
Is that the key, Fred? Because a lot of players have heard your generation, guys like Stuffy Singer, say hit the ball right at their feet.
6-11.
Well, exactly. What is a player going to do if the ball is hit right at his feet? Okay, they don't have time to set up. They can't spread out, and all they can do is hit the ball back underhand, and usually it'll come back a setup.
$6-11.
Beautiful shot right there from from Michael Gregan.
Yeah, I mean, he's starting to feel it off the back wall. I mean, that's where they've scored most of their points.
That ball fooled Vince.
There's Marcos attacking the front wall.
Marcos has a lot of different shots
Okay over there?
up
Where you were
there.
down?
Fred Lewis, he uses a
He
big
was-
ball
so you need a
splat
towel?
up front as well. That one was just a little flick of the wrist
No.
from Marco Chavez. This is game number 1. You're watching the men's pro doubles semifinals. Marco Chavez and Vince Munoz versus Michael Gregan and Brian Carroll from Ireland. Brian was a top junior player. You recall him playing up against Luis Moreno and Armando Ortiz in the juniors.
Well, Brian was a great intercollegiate player. He was runner-up 3 times in the USHA Intercollegiate Championships.
Coming in. 11-7. Point.
Amazing system between Vince and Marcos. It's just interesting to watch.
Need a towel?
And they probably don't play a lot together where they're at because they're so good. They probably beat everybody they play.
7.
Therefore, they're always probably playing against each other. Yet when they come down here for this one tournament, they have been able to dominate.
Well, I think, you know, the mistake that the Irish team is making is that they're both playing back deep. So somebody has to hang up front with Marcos so that he knows, he feels that somebody is there. You know, they're not putting any
12-7.
pressure on him. And therefore, you know, he's able to take advantage and do whatever he wants up front. Now, see, that was a good shot. That was an
1
example
minute.
of the ball being hit right at his foot.
Timeout.
He had to try and take it on the short hop, and he ended up making an error.
There's a timeout called here. Vince Munoz, Marco Chavez up 12-7. You're watching game number 1 of the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball men's semifinals of the Pro Double Division. My name is Dave Vincent.
Really?
David Fink, not in the booth at the moment. He's sitting courtside eating a bag of popcorn. Instead, we have Fred Lewis sitting in with me for this match. Dave Fink will be sitting in for the next one. Very well, we might even have a Dave Fink sighting with the microphone heading into the stands. Something I will not do and I refuse to do.
Well, you know, we haven't had any sideline interviews today, or have we?
Not yet today, but
Not
it
yet.
looks like Dave Fink is making his way in, so we'll let the mobile production van know that Dave Fink is now courtside with his microphone. And you can turn him on probably anytime you'd like, because Dave always has something to say. This is a 1-minute timeout that's taken a little longer than that.
Time's in.
Brian Carroll, Michael Gregan serving here.
12.
7 serves 12. We lost the court sounds through our headphones. Kind of can hear it, I guess.
See, another ball hit right at his feet, took it on the short hop, and made another error.
8-12. One down.
Score is 8-12.
8-12. Hold it.
I know Dave Fink is courtside with the microphone, unable to confirm whether or not he's able to hear us.
8-12.
Beautiful shot right there from Vince Munoz, and the local crowd loves watching Vince play.
That was Vince Munoz circa 1995, Dave Vincent.
That was a beautiful shot right there, Dave Fink. I don't know where you're at in there, but give us a description of where you're standing.
Well, I'm actually sitting, it's a mob scene here, Dave. I'm sandwiched between about 400 people here, Dave.
12-8.
Tell the truth, will you?
That is the truth. He's at the bus stop. He's not even watching the match.
Well, you know, if he said he was at the big ball tournament, I would believe him.
I actually was just there.
Point.
And there were 400 people there, right?
At least 500.
13-8.
Patty cake, patty cake. Yeah, that little paddle shot that you referred to before, Dave, he's doing a little bit too much of that. You know, Marcos can tee off on the ball. I'd rather see him play solid.
1 down.
They're trying to make those little dump shots, because if they're going to start covering those shots, all he's going to do is set them up.
Well, he has not been very successful with it.
Well, guys, Michael Gregan and Brian Carroll, two of the fastest guys that you'll see in the sport, particularly in doubles.
13-8. They were up 12-0, but they made a comeback. Point.
You heard the score there. It's 14-8. My name is Dave Vincent. Fred Lewis, 6-time national champion, USHA Hall of Famer, and Dave Fink, who will someday be in the Hall of Fame of something, is in the audience. In the gallery.
15-8. Side out. Eight, 15. Oh, man. One down. 8-15.
Michael Gregan
No.
serving
One
right
serve.
there from County Wicklow. Gets to play with Duxie Walshfred. Ooh. Marco stayed
close.
down though.
Yeah.
He didn't stand up. I heard that communication
Set
right
him
there.
up.
I don't know if you caught it, Dave Fink, but Dave, did you hear
15-8.
Vince Munoz calling off Marco Chavez on that last shot, that kill shot?
Hold it. Play it over.
I don't know if Dave Fink can hear us anymore. We
15-8.
lost Fink. Fred, Dave Fink said that he wanted to go to the gallery just to catch this game as a fan, not somebody that had a report on it. So he took his earbud out of his ear so he can't hear us talk.
Well, we better put it back in, because we're paying him a lot of money.
One down. $15-8.
15 serves 8 first game.
broken ball.
This will be the third.
Here, let me have it.
This was
Let me
the
go get
third
two
ball
more.
that they're using so far in this match, and yet we are only 23 points into the game. The first game, Fred.
Well, there's a lot of hard hitting.
The rallies are longer too, which increases the chance for that ball to get broke. You're watching the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball and WPH Race for 8.
Is this a timeout?
I think they have to
broke 2 balls here. Okay,
retrieve
here,
a ball.
here's the 2.
But
We're
I don't
only
know.
halfway.
See,
I got
the
2
management
more.
from the referees allowing the players to leave the courts is questionable, but
Well, I'm in the middle of a game. Just I'll come back.
it's a referee telling the players that he has to go back down to the tournament desk and get another ball. And the reason for this is that the tournament desk is only letting the referees have 2 balls to begin with, not thinking there would be more than that. But
Well, you know, earlier today you guys asked me about refereeing clinic and, you know, what we're going to talk about. I mean, this is part of the referee's authority in being prepared. You know, the referee should come prepared with, you know, at least 3 cans of balls. And then, you know, if you break a couple of them, then you got to send somebody back to replace those. So, you know, this is a very unnecessary timeout, and it's really not good for the game.
I agree with you, Fred, but
15,
it seems
Thursday.
at every tournament there's sort of like this unwritten rule that
Control it.
the referee feels like they're in charge and they get to take as much time as they want to.
1 agrees, 1 disagrees.
Well,
1 serve.
That's what we got to put an end to.
It's a great camera angle here of this action. Double seems to almost look better here. That's another one of those push shots for Marcos. There's another one that Marcos
Time's
loses
out.
this time. Actually got that one. Sorry, Fred. I thought he hit that into the ground.
8-15.
Smart shot right
That
there.
was a good shot. See, instead of
1
hitting
down.
the push shot, he drove it past him. Here's the David Fink sighting.
8-15.
Marco Chavez taking that ball off the back wall.
Side out.
Well, you know, he's doing so good with his left when he was driving the ball at Marcos, and I don't know why he decided to take something
15-8.
off that.
No.
Marco Chavez
One
looks really
serve.
good, Fred. Excuse me, Vince Munoz looks really good. 42 years of age. And he
Yeah,
seems
Vince-
much more active than the previous years.
Yeah, I like the job Vince is doing so far. He's very steady.
Like he's a court manager out there. Marcos has played much more sloppy than Vince. And in previous years,
One
we
down.
saw that reversal where it was Vince playing somewhat sloppy.
15-8.
There you go.
Point.
Good deep 2-all pass shot. See, if he starts mixing up the kills and the
16-8.
passes, then they won't be able to anticipate what he's doing.
Point. Check the floor.
Let's see, Brian was a little late getting there.
Vince Munoz and Marco Chavez going for their 5th straight U.S. Open title.
Yeah, I mean, that last ball was up, and, you know, Brian should have had that. If he was watching Marcos a little bit more closer, he would have been on top of that. That's what I'm saying, that one of them has got to be shadowing Marcus so that he knows that somebody's going to be there if he makes a mistake and the ball comes up.
Well, the great Nate Alvarado told me one time that I was playing doubles and he said, you know, why don't you go and put your foot around the front of the guy that's standing furthest up to the front of the court, preferably your guy. And he said it kind of in that laughing sort of tone, and I just disregarded what he had to say, and then we ended up getting burned a couple times. And so finally I just said, you know, I'm going to go up there and just stand in front of that guy. Change the whole complex.
Complexion of the game.
Then the game changed.
One, side out. Eight, 17.
Backhanded flip right there from Gregan. And they end up winning the rally. That's what makes big double special, Fred.
Well, Brian gave him a dose of his own medicine.
9-17.
Shot the ball right in front of him, and Brian was right there.
That was a long ball on the serve.
Second serve.
Now you can't always go up and put your foot around the guy in front of you.
Well, no, he was exaggerating, but he was trying to make a point.
But I found out that once I got that court position, you're able to do some more unintentional and intentional blocking, and then the opponent that is hitting the ball on the left now sees that you're up there, and that takes away that whole corner shot. So they end up playing the left side of the court, and I had a strong left side partner, and we ended up winning that match. My partner being John Bike. What you don't want, Fred, though, is to have Naughty Senior sitting out there giving advice to your partners.
To the people you're playing?
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
11-17.
Maybe he had a bet on them. Well, they're making a little comeback here. Only 5 points down.
12-17.
Vince Munoz with the left.
Over.
See, I like the game Brian is starting to play now. He's hitting the angle
Check the ball.
a lot better. Not giving Marcos the opportunity to cut the ball off.
12-17.
12 serve 17.
Marcos looks really sloppy in there tonight thus far. He looks
I
a little
agree
bit
with you,
bored.
David.
Fortunately for him, guys,
13,
Vince Munoz really
17.
picking up the slack. He's playing as well as I've seen him play in about 6 years.
Somebody said that Vince was doing 3-a-day
Hold
workouts.
it. Slide.
I don't know what motivated him to get into the gym. Now, that normally that's Marcos's thing,
13,
his
17.
cross training, Dave.
Well, it shows. That looked like a double bounce here, David. I'm staying right underneath that spot.
Side out.
Hard to tell from here.
Well, we can take a look at a replay.
17-13.
17-13 is the score.
Michael Gregan's been very wild here. He's had a lot of really strange shots. A number of shots that hit the front wall and then the back wall on the fly.
This is doubles at its finest, Dave.
I actually wouldn't agree with that.
I'm just talking about this long rally here.
Oh, in that
One
case,
down.
Another hand error by Marcos. I mean, he's taken the momentum
17-13.
totally away from his team by doing this.
Here's a back wall setup for Marco Chavez. And he
Point.
gets a point now, 18-13.
You notice every time he drills the ball, something good happens.
18-13.
And that's the great speed and retrieving re-kill ability from Brian Carroll. Not to be confused with Mike Schneider.
They do look a lot alike.
13-18.
13 serves 18 first game men's semifinals of the pro doubles.
Bad bounce.
Are we playing bad bounces again?
No.
Referee
Two
made a
serves.
mistake.
He said to do it over 2 serves. Now another point here for Carroll and Gregan.
14-18.
Starting to get closer.
Hold it, hold it.
Ball slid.
14-18. One down.
Incredible touch there from Marcos, but I think
I thought he got it.
Michael Gregan asking our referee
Unless he
Dan
says
Armijo if he
two,
picked
it's
that up
his
on one
point.
bounce. Marcos, I think, is saying he's not sure.
We're going to look at it on a replay. I know you can't see it, Dave, but one.
I
It looks
call he
like 2
got it.
bounces to me.
It's one down. We're appealing 2 bounces.
I mean,
Dave,
look,
why don't you tell me what you
One
see on
down.
that replay
Stop.
and tell our referee.
no, it's impossible to tell, but I'm telling you, just from pure positioning,
14-18.
Fred, did it look good to you? I mean, the ball looked good when it hit the front wall, but
I mean, I didn't see it. Okay, if I had a guess, I would have guessed it was 2 bounces.
if I was to guess Dave Fink, I would have guessed 2 bounces.
Oh, look at this. Look
But
at this.
you cannot tell with that
It was for you.
replay. Not conclusively.
18-14. Over.
Oof.
Vince got to do a better job on that serve. I mean, he's got the ability. He's got to catch that side wall on the fly. He's got to.
Replay.
He only got 3 points to go. Got to make every serve good.
18-14.
Great retrieve. Oh,
2 bounces. Good call.
wow. Great call.
And our highly educated crowd clapping only when a player calls a double bounce. Haven't heard any clapping for any amazing kills or long rallies. Dave, I think you call that an educated crowd?
Well, it's not a big ball crowd, that's for sure.
What is that supposed to mean?
What is it supposed to mean?
I'm a big handballer crowd.
What it's supposed to mean is that the big ball crowd is much more enthusiastic than the small ball crowd,
Oh, okay.
unfortunately. But that's the reality of handball these days. At least in America.
Actually, Fred, if you're referring to
19,
Ireland, you're not allowed to
14.
speak in the gallery there.
Not allowed to speak? What about it in between rallies or after the rally is over?
You're only allowed to clap, no talking.
Supposed to be quiet in a library too, but do you want me to spell that word for you, Dave? I know you don't know what that is.
1 down.
What? Wait, sound it out. Lie.
It's L-I.
19-14.
B-R-A.
L-I-E?
Never mind.
Okay,
Point.
meanwhile, guys, it's game point. 2 points in a row.
20-14.
This is game point at 20-14.
He sets him up. Gets it right back at him. Great get by Vince.
Vince unable to get that ball. I see a lot of those players take that ball off the back wall, Fred, where they swing and miss, and these are pro players. What is it about that high back wall shot that makes you swing and miss off the back wall like that?
Well, in just about every case that I've seen, they end up taking the ball too close to their body, and they're not watching the ball. Okay, think about it. You know, your normal hand-eye vision is to look at the ball when it's arm's length from your body. And so when you close in on it like that, it's tough to tuck your head under and watch the ball. And so really what he's doing is he's praying that he's going to hit the ball back because he's not really seeing it. That's why you got to give yourself plenty of room off the back wall.
Well, that's how Dave Fink serves the ball.
Praise?
That's true.
He prays that he
I
gets...
hope it goes in. Sometimes it does.
Okay, resuming play. 14, 20.
Terrible miss there from Marcos.
Oh, he didn't even hit that ball. I mean, he's been doing this all
15-20.
match.
Could be a big setup here for Michael Gregan, who has a flat kill. He didn't use it there, though. Great teamwork right now from Marcos and Vince.
What happened there? Couldn't see. Could you see, Dave? What happened?
Unfortunately, guys, I
16,
really
20.
can't hear you. There's some sort of bad connection in here with my
Check the ball.
device.
Wet. Slid. Second serve.
But he knew that we were talking to him, so that's the most important thing.
Well, I heard you say, could you hear me, Dave? Didn't hear anything before that.
No, we just want to know what happened to Vince on that shot.
Well, that's ancient history at this point.
Well, thanks for the commentary.
Just reporting.
Another hand error.
Point.
Glad we have you
can appeal
courtside.
a bad bounce. He's appealing a bad bounce.
I actually wasn't able to get courtside,
bad
Dave. I didn't
bounce?
have my credentials,
Bad
and I've been
bounce.
shut out of the court. I'm watching through a
Replay.
crack from the
Bad bounce
steps.
off that little
Can
round
only see
thing.
about a fourth of the court.
Pardon? Yeah, he
I
said
looked
bad
right at
bounce.
Lupita Alvarado, and she waved
Yeah.
me away.
They overrule. Replay.
Looked at me like she never saw me before.
17-20.
Scoreboard says
Short.
17 to 20, second serve coming
Second
up.
serve.
Now it's
Beautiful ceiling
They're
shot.
creeping up.
Marcos and
18,
Vince now really in
20.
trouble.
18-20.
now 3 points away here. Ball slid on the ground.
Check the ball. Let's check your gloves, everyone. Glove change, glove change.
We're going to have a
How about you
2-minute
guys?
timeout here in the booth. We're going to take a break here with the conclusion of game number 1 right around the corner. You stick close. Racefor8.com.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Our non-toxic, biodegradable, all-purpose cleaner works great for cleaning. Thank you. Non-toxic, biodegradable, Simple Green. It's great for cleaning.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the finest non-toxic cleaner in the world. For more than 35 years, I have worked to establish truth in labeling laws. Many products misrepresent their safety and efficacy. I am so certain you will find that Simple Green does everything the label states safely, that if you're not 100% satisfied, I will refund your purchase. For more information, go to simplegreen.com.
For 20 years, the Inner City Handball Association has educated, mentored, and served young people through handball. Young people that participate in the Inner City Handball Association programs have a high graduation rate from high school and continue on to college. Inner City Handball teens are good athletes, good students, and good ambassadors for the sport of handball. We need your help to continue our work. Inner City Handball Association is a registered 501c3 tax-exempt charity. Please donate today. Thank you.
We are back live here at Los Caballeros Sports Village, Fountain Valley, California. Simple Green, U.S. Open of Handball. Brian Carroll, Michael Gregan now edging back here. Game number one, men's semifinals of the Pro Division versus Marcos Chavez and Vincent Munoz. Score 18-20 with Carroll serving. We already, Fred, have a all-Irish finals here for the U.S. Open singles in the men's division. We have Irish player Aisling Riley in the finals for the women's.
We're guaranteed to at least have a one-half Irish men's doubles final, as the bottom half are 4 Irishmen.
Here's that serve at 18-20. And make it 19-20.
Replay.
That was a bad bounce.
18-20.
And Vince shoots the bottom board. Incredible shot there. Michael Gregan playing it way too safe. Driving the ball right down the middle, about 4 feet high, and Vince made him pay. And Fred, Vince made the adjustment there, got himself away from the ball at arm's length. Took a beautiful swing and rolled the ball.
He's coming through. You know, he put him out. Last 2 shots were all Vince.
This is it.
Good serve.
Game point. Wow.
There it is.
And Vince and Marcos take game number one, 21-18.
5 minutes.
After a little scare there from the Irishmen. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back in 4 minutes or so for Fred Lewis and David Fink courtside. My name is Dave Vincent. Stick with us here at racefor8.com.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Our non-toxic, biodegradable, all-purpose cleaner works great for cleaning it. Thank you. Non-toxic, biodegradable, Simple Green. It's great for cleaning.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the finest non-toxic cleaner in the world. For more than 35 years, I have worked to establish truth in labeling laws. Many products misrepresent their safety and efficacy. I am so certain you will find that Simple Green does everything the label states safely, that if you're not 100% satisfied, I will refund your purchase. For more information, go to simplegreen.com.
For 20 years, the Inner City Handball Association has educated, mentored, and served young people through handball. Young people that participate in the Inner City Handball Association programs have a high graduation rate from high school and continue on to college. Inner City Handball teens are good athletes, good students, and good ambassadors for the sport of handball. We need your help to continue our work. Inner City Handball Association is a registered 501c3 tax-exempt charity. Please donate today. Thank you.
I'm Bruce Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the finest non-toxic cleaner in the world. For more than 35 years, I've worked to establish truth in labeling laws and have verified my product's safety credentials. For more information, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
My name is Bruce Fabrizio. In 1975, I invented Simple Green based on 3 principles. It had to be safer to use, it had to work, and it had to be completely made in America. From generation to generation, Simple Green has been cleaning everything from car engines and tools to kitchen counters and floors. No matter what you clean, indoors or outdoors, clean it with non-toxic, biodegradable Simple Green.
Okay, we're ready to start game 2.
And you heard the announcement there from referee Danny Armijo. Game number 2.
Well, let's see if the Irish team can get off to a good start here and not get
I'm
so
waiting
far
on the
behind.
linesman, just a second. Okay, here he comes. Okay, let's start game 2. 0, serve 0.
Score of the first game was 21-18. Now we're at 0-0 in game number 2. That 18 went to the Irishman as Marcos and Vince won the first one.
1-0.
Now we're at 1 serve 0. Brian Carroll serving.
Side out. 0-1.
Great get. Well, that was the volley of the match right there in terms of pure excitement.
Oh my gosh.
The referee even liked it.
1 serves 1. Point. 2-1.
Score here is 2-1. Vince Munoz serving.
Three serves 1. One down.
That's the first error I've seen him make. Unforced.
3-1.
Here's a setup for Vince. And he just cuts
Point.
that ball as opposed to doing that traditional swing that he has.
4-1. One down, or side out.
It's a good pickup right there. Probably saved the point.
1 serves 4. Point.
Score now 2-4, second game after losing the first one. 21-18,
2-4.
Brian Carroll serving to Vince Munoz and Marco Chavez. And that was
One
Brian
down.
Carroll screaming out there.
2 serves 4. Short. 1 serve. Point.
You see the difference there, the way he stepped into that one and hit it hard.
3-4.
He's got that talent.
Point.
We're now at
Four,
Brian
serve
Carroll
4.
can do this. If he gets hot and he keeps stepping into the ball the way he's been doing, they'd be giving him a lot of setups.
Side
Yeah.
out.
This is the kind of handball we like to see, where both teams are going for it, hitting the ball hard,
4-all.
spreading out, you know, not trying to get away with stuff.
We're all together here at 4. That was set up by that terrible shot from Marco
Exactly.
Chavez.
4-4. Short. 1 serve. Hold it, screen.
Ooh,
He
tough.
got away with it.
That's a tough one to call a screen on right there.
4-4.
I don't know if he would have got that if he had a chance to look at it for a couple days, Fred.
Replay. Check the ball.
Yeah, it was close.
4-4.
4 serves 4.
Point.
See, now he went back to aiming the ball again instead of just
5-4.
teeing off on it. Just don't understand.
Nice shot right there from Michael Gregan.
Something works, you stick with it until somebody makes you change.
4-5. One
Try
down.
to sneak that one in.
4-5.
That's going to be a setup.
Hold it. Replay. Four, five. Side out. Check. Check the floor. Okay.
Score is 5-4.
5-4.
This is game number 2 of the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball men's semifinals.
Whoa.
Check the floor.
I don't know. Vince did
Check
everything
it where
right.
you rolled on your back there. There's a wet spot right there. It's okay.
What were you saying, Fred?
Okay.
Vince did everything
5-4.
right on that last play. Blasted the ball at him twice, and you know Michael just made a great
Point.
pickup.
There's another point there for Team Munoz.
Well, you know, I like to see Marcos continue on in this
6-4.
vein. I mean, that's a great drive.
There's a. Four, six.
A little too casual on that shot.
4-6. Side out.
Left it up in the front court.
Marco Chavez takes his left hand, kills that ball.
6-4.
6-4 men's semifinals. The lower bracket semifinal with Paul Brady and Mike Finnegan coming up next. Desi Keegan and his doubles partner, Carroll.
Point.
That's too bad. Would have been a good shot.
7-4. Hold it, hold it. Ball slid.
We saw a lot of slide balls in the first match of the day
7-4.
here between Jennifer Schmidt and Ashleen Riley. And then not so much later.
Well,
Check
you know,
it.
in the early morning, Dave, it's foggy out here in
Check the
Southern
ball.
California, and you know, the walls will have a tendency to be wet in
7-4.
the morning.
That ball
Well,
just,
you got away with one right there.
that was a miss hit.
That was the fade.
You're going to see a miss hit here for Marco Chavez wearing
8-4.
the red shirt.
Hold it.
I don't think that was a miss hit, Dave. He went for that. Went over the top.
8-4.
8 serves 4.
Hold it.
Yeah, I'd like to see Vince hit a Z serve over to Michael and see how he handles that.
8-4.
That's an avoidable.
Replay.
Where's he supposed to go? It's right on the wall.
How about come off
Check
the wall?
it.
I mean, right before Vince hit it, he was off the wall, and then he moved into
8-4.
the wall and got hit by the ball.
Hold it short.
I thought the ball slid after the short, during the short.
All right, let's see what
One
Vince
serve.
does here.
3-wall. I mean, a 2-wall serve.
I'd like to see him hit the left side wall before it hits the back wall.
Oh, look at that shot right there, Vince
Beautiful.
Munoz. The crowd loves him here, too. It's a beautiful shot.
9-4.
Watch this fadeaway left-hand shot. Vince Munoz wearing the black shirt. Here's the one that he kills in that left corner. And he was going for it, Fred.
Really let it drop.
Guys are slipping all over the place in there.
Another skip.
Point.
See, now they're letting they're getting a little bit too
10-4.
far behind, and they're going to have to play catch up. Uh-oh.
Point.
Caught him a little bit off balance.
11-4.
11 serves 4 now, second game.
Point.
Have to be a timeout called here
There
soon,
it is.
Fred.
There it is.
Timeout. It's your first.
You know, just too many unforced errors, putting them, you know, way behind. Dug a big hole for themselves. It's going to be tough for them to dig out.
11, 12-4. 12-4.
You're watching the Simple Green U.S. Open of Handball
Oh, good.
here in Fountain Valley,
We
California.
want a tiebreaker, not
Los-
a belly acher like you.
Los Caballeros Sports Village, that's Dan Armijo, our referee.
Poet laureate of the
12-4.
WPH.
12-4.
In the first
Good,
game, it was
time's in.
Marco Chavez and Vince Munoz winning 21-18, and now they're up 12-4 in game number 2, trying to make the finals, Fred, for the 5th straight year. I should say 5th straight time. There was one year where they did not hold the U.S. Open. That was 2009 because of the World Championships happening near the same weekend.
So let's see if
Time
they
in.
can maintain momentum here.
12-4.
They got 2 serves.
Or let's see if that timeout was a smart one.
No.
Bad bounce.
Second serve.
Wow.
Same shot.
He sort of just backs his feet up and then cranks right into that corner.
Yeah, he's leveling off, and he's taking the ball low,
13-4.
and the opponents are back, so it's a high percentage shot. See, now why did he do that? I mean, that's a momentum changer right there. They're playing beautiful ball, and
13-4.
he has to try and, I don't get it.
Call it, replay.
Vince Munoz looking back at Dan Armijo, pointing at Brian Carroll, saying he got to the ball
13-4.
first. And when Vince Munoz says something to a referee, that's like he was about as mad as he's ever been, Fred. Because Vince doesn't ever argue about anything.
No, he's a real gentleman.
This could be a big
Back
setup.
ball setup. He blows it.
Side out.
All right. 2 unforced errors in a row. It should have been 15-14
4-13.
instead of 4-13.
No. Second serve.
That was a short ball, second serve. Brian Carroll wearing the Irish green and yellow. There's another.
3 in a row.
3 unforced errors from Marco Chavez.
5-13.
Four in a row. He's going to prove us wrong, right, Dave? He's going to make one of these days.
It's our new camera angle here, Fred. This is the security cam at Circle K. We stole it from the parking garage, actually. I like it.
7-13.
7 serves 13. Oh, that ball hits the front wall and forces the half out.
One down. That was good. One down.
Replay. Let's take a look at it.
Well, there's no way to tell with this replay, but we can look at it
7-13.
anyway. As the score is called 7-13. Here's the replay brought to you by Simple Green. That's the ball that
Looked good to me.
Brian Carroll takes that ball into the left corner now, within 5 points here. They had all the
8-13.
momentum in the world, Fred, and then Marco stepped in with that little paddle kill and then had 4 unforced errors in a row, maybe 5. And you don't want to rely on Vince Munoz having to kill the ball with his left hand in that left corner all the time.
Yeah, that was a tough shot.
9-13.
Another unforced error.
10-13.
Totally let them back in the game.
Side out.
See? Hit that ball hard. That's the difference.
13-10.
What do you say for players out there, Fred, that cannot hit the ball hard for some reason or another?
Well, they wouldn't be in these types of matches. They're not going to make the semifinals of a top tournament.
Year-old Vince Munoz goes down for that, but does not get the point. 13-10 is the score here.
Can I switch with you? I can't look down if I'm too far back.
Nice shot right there from Michael Gregan, the rabbit.
No points that inning.
Hold it, hold it.
There's some major cheering going on in the adjacent court.
10-13.
That's why the referee had to stop the action here. Another error from Marco Chavez.
11-13. Hold it. All right. It's replay.
The referee can actually
I called it before you hit it.
The referee can overturn his call though if you wanted to.
No, he can't. Once
It,
he calls
didn't work
hinder,
out
it's
for
over.
you, but
Nope, you can
I
actually
called it.
if he doesn't feel that the players could
It's a
get to that,
replay, 12-13.
he can actually overturn his own call. We saw it earlier. Be like a player hitting a crack that rolls out flat, and while the referee is saying replay, the player, you obviously know the player isn't going to get to it. He can actually reverse his call if he wanted
13
to.
all.
We're all together at 13 scoreboard.
One down.
Score here is 13-13.
They're together at 13.
After Vince and Marcos were up big, Fred. They like the dramatic.
Well, now you see the change. Marcos is starting to bomb the ball, which is what he's got to do from here
13
on
all.
out.
Nice get right there from Vince Munoz. That ball
Outside
just
the court.
went right out into the gallery, and that's
Replay.
just a reserve, first server. I think that play should be a lot like racquetball, where you just say, that's a side out. Hit it over, you're done. We see the players now, and I'm not suggesting that Vince is doing this, but we saw some players earlier that purposely hit the ball out into the gallery just so they can get back into the server's box.
13 all.
It seems like the integrity of that rule is broken, Fred.
Well, how do you improve it? How do you prove intent?
Well, just say that if it goes out, it's a
13
side
all.
out or a...
Well, it's got to be absolute. If that's what you want to do, then change the rule.
Okay, I'd change it. That ball handcuffed
Too tough to handle.
Brian Carroll in that back right
14-13.
corner. Marco Chavez serving at 14-13. Good serve there. That ball just stays out, and now
Replay.
15. No, they're going to call a replay on it.
No, the ball hit Vince.
It would have never made it to the front wall.
14, replay. 14-13.
Ugh. That ball was off the side of his hand, would have not have made the front wall. I like that shot right there from Marcos, although if he would have missed it, it would have been another one of those crazy shots.
Well, he hit it a little bit better. He leveled off at least instead of pushing it.
Let's watch Marco Chavez wearing the red shirt. Marco sponsored by LAAC and Owen Gloves. Here it is. Marcos just feathers that over there. I believe it's 15-13 here. I'm not sure. I've been wrong before.
I think that was a replay.
15-13.
See him go for an ace here.
Hold it.
Well, he got one previously, and the referee called it a replay when the ball
15.
hit Vince.
Hold
But
it, check the ball.
What happened there?
a skip on the ground, I think.
15-13.
Or it might have hit Vince.
Hold it, replay.
A little too soon.
My gosh.
15-13.
15 serves 13 here. Vince and Marcos won the first one, 21-18.
He likes that
Hold it,
shot.
slide. Slide.
You're wondering what Marcos was doing out there when he stuck
Check
out his
the
hand?
ball.
Yeah.
Check it. Check the ball. There. Let's have a glove check here. look okay. 15, 13. Hold it. Slide. 15, 13.
Keep going for it.
15 serves 13. Yeah, I think you're right, Fred.
Back wall.
Side out.
See, that's what
You
I
saw
don't like
slide?
about that
Nope.
type of philosophy.
No.
Marco
Side
started
out.
to go for the
He said
ball,
no
and
slide.
he threw Vince off, and Vince was late getting there.
said
That's
no
why he missed
slide.
it.
$13, 15. That's a slide. Over.
Now it's starting to get sloppy in there.
Yeah,
Let's
they might want to
let's do
take a few
glove change.
seconds.
Marcos, let's change yours, yours.
What they ought to do
Like,
is
come
go
over,
in
I
there
can't
right
see
now
him.
with a couple of dry towels and wipe the walls down. Here he comes.
We are going to take a quick 2-minute
change
timeout.
yours.
We will be
Yours are
back
okay.
in 2 minutes from right now for the conclusion of game number 2. Stick with
It's
us here at
15, 13.
race48.com.
Hello, I'm Bruce
Could go either
Fabrizio,
way.
inventor of Simple Green. Our non-toxic, biodegradable, all-purpose cleaner works great for cleaning. Thank you. Non-toxic, biodegradable, Simple Green. It's great for cleaning.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green, the finest non-toxic cleaner in the world. For more than 35 years, I have worked to establish truth in labeling laws. Many products misrepresent their safety and efficacy. I am so certain you will find that Simple Green does everything the label states safely, that if you're not 100% satisfied, I will refund your purchase. For more information, go to simplegreen.com.
For 20 years, the Inner City Handball Association has educated, mentored, and served young people through handball. Young people that participate in the Inner City Handball Association programs have a high graduation rate from high school and continue on to college. Inner City Handball teens are good athletes, good students, and good ambassadors for the sport of handball. We need your help to continue our work. Inner City Handball Association is a registered 501c3 tax-exempt charity. Please donate today. Thank you.
And we are back live here, courtside in Los Caballeros Sports
13.
Village.
Wait, hold it. Okay, 13, 15.
13 serves 15. Brian Carroll and
Check the ball.
his doubles partner, Michael Gregan, serving to Vince Munoz and Marco Chavez, the 4-time U.S. Open national champion.
13, 15. Slide.
It's every shot now, Fred.
Well, you know, he was wiping the floor. They should have gone in there and wiped the
13,
walls
15.
down. And it's just common sense. See what's going on in there.
Now we're at
14, 15.
14 to 15. Oh, look at that shot right there from Marco Chavez.
Reaction shot. Hit it right at him.
$14, 15.
It's a half out.
There you go.
Side out. 15-14. Check it.
That was a terrible serve right there for Marcos. That ball hitting Vince Munoz in the leg.
2 serves.
He's going through his change of pace game right now.
Hold it, hold it.
The ball slid.
Ball slid.
So what? Ball set up. He took a setup away from him.
15-14. I didn't see a slide.
I did.
It did slide. Okay, replay.
They got to wipe this court down.
15-14.
Here's a setup for Marco Chavez. Now picking on Brian Carroll for some reason. That's 3 in a row to Carroll. Could have been 4 in a row, but Michael Gregan called him off.
Side out.
There's a point.
15-14.
There's a
Oh,
point.
wait. Oh, I'm sorry. 16-14.
Thank
My
you.
fault.
They've been stuck on 15 for so long, Fred, that I think the referee almost denied the fact that it went to 16, just out of circumstance.
Point.
Try to sneak one in there.
17-14. Hold it. Ball slid. Oh, what are you saying? Oh, no. Okay, he's appealing. Short serve. 2 serves. Replay, 17-14, 2 serves.
Let's look at that replay. Ball was short.
Yeah, he agrees with my call. It was good. 2 serves. 17. I called slide. He appealed short.
This is all confusing
slid,
in here
yeah.
right now.
17-14.
Strange call right there from the referee. The ball was clearly short. Marcos and Vince end up getting a point.
Oh,
Side out.
another momentum changer right there.
14-17.
Big setup for Vince Munoz. Had a lot of setups here, Fred.
Got him.
Ooh. There's some contact there, not called. Referee did not call that contact. Vince Munoz pointed out to it to Brian Carroll. Brian Carroll kind of got amnesia there for a moment. I don't remember anything. This is game number 2. Carroll and Gregan going back into the server's box. You'll see that contact here in a second. Vince Munoz wearing the black. There
right
it is.
there.
His foot still under his foot during that shot. Referee letting him play through it. Vince and Brian both having words as they walked away.
Wait, hold it.
Contact?
No contact.
No contact. You see the scoreboard, which is powered by Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC, online at Zions.com and at your local
15,
retail
17.
outlet. Try their new sports drink called Zenergy. They've got a whole bunch of different
Hold it.
flavors. Long ball.
Long. One serve.
Well, we'd like everybody out there to patronize our sponsors. Great products, not just because they sponsor the WPH webcast. They truly are great sponsors.
They're associated with the UFC, and Fred, you said, you know, just early on in the relationship between the WPH and Zions, they invited
15,
you to a
17.
special party in Las Vegas. Birthday party? What was it?
Well, it was a victory party after one of the UFC fights. Unfortunately, I wasn't dressed appropriately, and I couldn't get past the bouncers.
Well, you live in Tucson, so.
Oh yeah, I had my sandals on. But Zion, you know, Zenergy is the most
16, 17.
natural energy drink out there, and it really tastes good. Okay, we're tied up. New ball game.
Together, 17.
This could get interesting. They take the lead for the first time in the match.
$18, 17. Side out.
There's a side out right there from a nice shot from Marco Chavez. Crowd starting to get into it here, trying to pump up the Southern California boys.
17, 18.
Caught him napping, backing up. Somebody go for a serve here. Come on. See
17,
something.
18.
And there's a point, making it 18 to 18 now.
Together at 18. Point.
Another
There's
unforced error.
That's two in a row for Brian Carroll here.
19, 18.
God, what kind of serve is that?
Wow, look at that shot from Marco Chavez. Doing it right when they needed it, now at 20. First game they won 21 to 18. Michael Gregan pointed at Marco saying,
20, 18.
that was a good shot. Here's a potential match. There he is, he gets a crack.
Oh.
There it is, game is over.
Match.
21 to 18, 21 to 18. Vince Munoz, Marco Chavez in the finals for the fifth
Glad that didn't go
straight
tiebreaker.
time. We have another match coming up right around the corner. Bottom bracket semifinals between Paul Brady and his partner Mike Finnegan and Seamus O'Carroll and Desi Keegan. We're going to take a quick timeout. It was Vince Munoz, Marco Chavez defeating Brian Carroll and Michael Gregan 21 to 18, 21 to 18. For Fred Lewis and Dave Fink, my name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for the conclusion of the broadcast day when we get on that lower bracket semifinal double pro match between those mentioned before. You stick around here at racerate.com.
My name is Bruce Fabrizio. In 1975, I invented Simple Green based on three principles. It had to be safer to use, it had to work, and it had to be completely made in America. From generation to generation, Simple Green has been cleaning everything from car engines and tools to kitchen counters and floors. No matter what you clean, indoors or outdoors, clean it with non-toxic, biodegradable Simple Green.